Adrian was driving his fiancée home to meet her parents, the engagement ring fresh on her finger, their future seemingly perfect, until he spotted a woman crossing the street with a double stroller. In that split second, everything he'd hidden came crashing into the light. 2 children, an ex he claimed he'd left years ago, and a lie that would force his fiancée to make an impossible choice: walk away from the man she loves, or stay and rebuild trust from the ruins of his past. Welcome, everyone. Before we begin, I just want to send blessings your way. May you find clarity when life gets complicated, strength when trust is tested, and wisdom to know when love is worth fighting for. If this story speaks to you, show some love by hitting that like button, subscribe to stay connected, and drop a comment letting us know where in the world you're watching from. Now, let's dive into a story about secrets, second chances, and the price of redemption. The car slowed at the intersection, and Adrian's hand found hers across the leather seat. 2 more blocks, he said, nodding toward the brownstone district ahead. Your parents are going to love the ring. Simone felt the diamond press against her knuckle as she adjusted the band. 3 carats, platinum setting. His mother's stone, reset for her finger just yesterday. The light stayed red. Adrian's thumb traced circles on her palm, the same rhythm he'd used when he proposed last month on the yacht. She'd said yes before he finished the question. 6 months of dating had felt like 6 years in the best way. Easy, certain, inevitable. I should have called ahead, Simone said. Mom gets weird about surprise visits. It's an engagement, not an inspection. Adrian smiled, but his eyes tracked something through the windshield. Besides, I already texted your dad. He's been waiting all week. The light turned green. Adrian didn't move. Simone followed his gaze across the crosswalk. A woman stood at the opposite curb, one hand gripping a double stroller, the other raised to shield her eyes from the afternoon sun. 2 children, maybe 2 years old, maybe less, sat strapped in side by side, one chewing a stuffed elephant, the other asleep with his head tilted against the padded frame. The woman stepped off the curb. Adrian's hand went slack in Simone's. The woman was halfway across now, her pace careful, controlled, the stroller wheels catching slightly on the painted lines. She wore jeans and a plain gray sweater, hair pulled back in a ponytail that had started to come loose. Nothing remarkable, nothing that should make Adrian's breathing change. But it had. Simone felt it, the shift in his posture, the way his fingers slipped from hers and found the edge of the steering wheel instead. Adrian? He didn't answer. The woman reached the median, paused, glanced back at the children. The one with the elephant dropped it. She bent down, retrieved it, wiped it on her sleeve, handed it back. The movement was automatic, practiced, the kind of thing you do 1,000 times without thinking. The light cycled yellow behind them. A horn sounded from 2 cars back. Adrian still hadn't moved. Simone turned to him fully now. His jaw was tight, his eyes locked on the woman as she cleared the crosswalk and continued down the sidewalk, the stroller bumping slightly over a raised crack in the pavement. Adrian. The light. He blinked. His foot found the gas. The car lurched forward, then stopped again, too abrupt, the seatbelt catching against Simone's chest. Sorry, he said. I thought I saw... He didn't finish. Simone watched the woman's back recede in the side mirror. Gray sweater, ponytail, double stroller disappearing around the corner of a brick building with a faded awning. Saw what? Adrian's knuckles were white on the wheel. Nothing. Someone from work. The car behind them honked again. Longer this time. Adrian drove. Simone's parents lived in a restored Victorian her father had bought in the 90s, back when the neighborhood still had bail bond offices and check-cashing windows. Now it had organic markets and artisan coffee shops, the kind of place where people paid $12 for toast. Adrian pulled up to the curb but didn't kill the engine. "You okay?" Simone asked. "Yeah, fine." He still wasn't looking at her. Simone touched his arm. "If you need to reschedule..." "No." Too fast. He turned to her, forced a smile that didn't reach his eyes. "No, I'm good. Just distracted. Work thing." He finally turned off the car. Inside, her mother had set out cheese and crackers on the good china, the kind she only used when Simone brought someone home. Her father stood by the mantel, already wearing the expression he wore when he was trying not to seem excited. Arms crossed, mouth neutral, eyes giving him away completely. "Adrian," he said, extending a hand. "Good to see you." Adrian shook it, his grip firm, his smile back in place now. Simone watched him settle into the role, the composed, attentive fiancé meeting the parents, but something underneath was still off, like a radio stuck between stations. Her mother hugged her, then pulled back to look at the ring. "Oh, Simone, it's beautiful." It was his mother's. "I had it reset," Adrian said. "Seemed right." Her father poured wine. They sat. The conversation followed the expected path. Wedding timeline, venue options, whether a spring or fall date made more sense. Adrian answered everything correctly, his voice steady, his attention seemingly full. But Simone caught the moment his hand went to his pocket. Once. Twice. His phone, she realized. He was checking his phone under the table. Her mother was talking about flowers, something about peonies versus roses, and Adrian nodded at the right moments, but his thumb was moving against the screen in his lap. Simone leaned closer. "Need to take that?" He pulled his hand back fast, like she'd caught him doing something wrong. "No, just work." "On a Saturday?" "Always on a Saturday." He smiled, but it still wasn't reaching his eyes. Her father refilled the wine. "I remember those days. Built my first company on weekends and midnight oil." Adrian's phone buzzed. He stood. "Actually, I'm sorry. I do need to take this." 2 minutes. He stepped into the hallway before anyone could respond. Simone's mother gave her a look, the kind that asked a question without words. "He's been like this since the drive over," Simone said quietly. Her father sipped his wine. "Cold feet are normal." "It's not cold feet." Simone heard Adrian's voice through the wall, low and clipped. She couldn't make out words. But the tone was wrong. Not professional, not casual. Urgent. He came back 3 minutes later, his face carefully blank. "Everything okay?" Simone asked. "Fine. Client emergency. Nothing major." He sat, picked up his wine, put it down without drinking. "Sorry." The conversation restarted, but it had lost momentum. Adrian's answers got shorter. His gaze drifted to the window twice. When Simone's mother asked about honeymoon plans, he said, "Europe, probably," in a voice that suggested he wasn't really in the room anymore. Simone touched his knee under the table. He looked at her, and for just a second, something cracked in his expression. Something that looked like guilt or panic or both. "We should go," he said. "I just remembered I have an early call tomorrow." It was 4 in the afternoon. They didn't speak in the car. Adrian drove 10 miles over the speed limit, his jaw set, his hands locked at 10 and 2. Simone waited until they hit the highway. Who was she? Who was who? The woman. At the crosswalk. Adrian's hands tightened on the wheel. "I told you. Someone from work." "You're lying." He didn't deny it, just kept driving, his eyes fixed on the road ahead like it required his entire concentration. Simone felt the engagement ring turn on her finger, suddenly too loose or too tight. She couldn't tell. "Adrian, I need you to tell me what's happening." Nothing's happening. You saw someone and you've been checking your phone every 5 minutes since. It's work. Stop saying that. The car swerved slightly as Adrian changed lanes without signaling. A sedan honked. He didn't seem to notice. Simone pulled out her own phone. Fine. I'll figure it out myself. Simone. Who is she? An ex? A client? Someone you... Leave it alone. His voice had gone flat, almost cold. Simone had heard him use that tone exactly once before, with a business partner who'd tried to renegotiate a deal after the contracts were signed. It was the voice he used when a line had been crossed. She stared at him. You're serious. I'm asking you to trust me. That's not an answer. Adrian pulled off the highway, too fast, onto an exit that wasn't theirs. He drove another quarter-mile and stopped in an empty grocery store parking lot, engine still running. Her name is Rachel, he said. Simone waited. We were together, 3 years. Ended about 4 years ago. Okay. It ended badly. How badly? Adrian's throat worked. I left her. Simone turned in her seat to face him fully. And I didn't know about the kids. The words landed like a physical thing. Simone felt her chest tighten, her breath catch somewhere between her lungs and her throat. The twins, she said. Adrian nodded. They're yours. I don't know. Maybe. She never told me. But you think they are? His silence was answer enough. Simone looked down at the ring on her finger. The diamond caught the late afternoon light, throwing small rainbows across the dashboard. Beautiful. Expensive. His mother's. When did you find out? She asked. Today. Just now. When I saw her. You didn't know before? No. Simone believed him. Or wanted to. She couldn't tell which. What did she say on the phone? Adrian's jaw clenched. She didn't call. I called her. You still have her number? Yeah. After 4 years. Yeah. Simone felt something shift inside her, something that had been solid becoming liquid. What did she say? She hung up. That's it? That's it. Adrian turned off the engine. The sudden silence felt too loud. Simone closed her eyes, tried to think, tried to find the logic, the next question, the thing that would make this make sense. If you didn't know, she said slowly, why did you leave her? Adrian looked at her, and for the first time since the crosswalk, his expression was completely open. Because I wasn't ready. Because she wanted things I couldn't give her. Because I was 28 and building a company and I thought I had time. And now you're engaged to me. That's different. Why? Because it is. Not an answer. Not even close. Simone opened the car door. Where are you going? Adrian asked. I don't know. Away. Simone. I need to think. She got out, closed the door, started walking across the parking lot toward nothing in particular. Behind her, she heard Adrian's door open, then close, his footsteps on the pavement. Don't, she said without turning around. He stopped. Simone kept walking until she reached the edge of the lot, where the asphalt gave way to a strip of dried grass and a chain-link fence. Beyond that, traffic moved on the service road, fast and indifferent. Her phone buzzed. Not Adrian. Her mother. Everything all right? He seemed tense. Simone didn't answer. Another buzz. Adrian this time. I'm sorry. Can we talk? She turned around. He was still standing by the car, hands in his pockets, shoulders hunched against nothing. No wind, no cold. Just the weight of what he'd said. Simone walked back. Take me home, she said. Your place or... Mine, he nodded. They drove in silence. Adrian kept both hands on the wheel, his eyes straight ahead. Simone watched the streetlight start to flicker on as the sun dropped behind the skyline. When they reached her apartment building, Adrian pulled up to the curb but didn't get out. "Do you want me to come up?" he asked. "No." "Simone." "I need space. A day, maybe 2. I don't know yet." Adrian's hand moved toward hers, then stopped halfway. "I love you. I know. This doesn't change that." Simone looked at him, at the man she'd said yes to, at the ring on her finger that suddenly felt like it belonged to someone else's life. "It changes something," she said. She got out, closed the door, walked into her building without looking back. Simone didn't sleep. She lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, running the scene over and over in her head. The crosswalk, the stroller, the way Adrian's hand had gone slack in hers. 2 children, twins, maybe his. The logic didn't work. If Rachel had been pregnant when they broke up, the kids would be older, 3, maybe 4. But the children in the stroller had looked younger, 2 at most, which meant either Rachel had gotten pregnant after they broke up, or Adrian's timeline was wrong, or he was lying. Simone picked up her phone, opened a search engine, typed, "Adrian Colwell girlfriend," nothing useful. A few photos from charity events, all recent, all with Simone at his side. She tried, "Adrian Colwell X," same results. She tried, "Rachel Colwell." The screen filled with genealogy sites, LinkedIn profiles, a dentist in Oregon. No one who matched. Simone put the phone down, picked it up again, opened the text thread with Adrian, his last message. "I'm sorry. Can we talk?" Sent 4 hours ago. No follow-up since. She started typing. "I need to know." Deleted it. Started again. "Did you love her?" Deleted that too. What she wanted to ask was, did you leave her because you didn't want kids or because you didn't want kids with her? But she didn't send anything. Instead, she got up, went to the kitchen, made coffee she didn't drink, and watched the sky turn from black to gray through the window over the sink. Her phone rang at 7 a.m. Not Adrian, her mother. Simone answered. "Hi, Mom. You left your scarf here yesterday. Do you want me to drop it off?" "You can keep it." A pause. "Simone, what's wrong?" "Nothing. Just tired. He proposed. You said yes. And now you're tired?" Simone closed her eyes. "Mom, did you two have a fight?" "Not exactly." "What does that mean?" "It means I don't want to talk about it yet." Another pause, longer this time. "Okay. But when you do, I'm here. I know." "And sweetie?" "Yeah? That boy loves you. I saw it in his face yesterday. Whatever happened, don't throw that away over something small." Simone looked down at the ring, still on her finger because she hadn't had the energy to take it off. "It's not small." "Then fight for it." "That's not how this works." "Then how does it work?" Simone didn't have an answer. After they hung up, she stood in the kitchen for another 20 minutes, coffee going cold in the pot, light creeping across the floor in slow increments. Her phone buzzed. "Adrian, can I see you today?" Simone typed. "Not yet." Adrian, "When?" Simone, "I don't know." She turned off her phone. By Monday, Simone still hadn't answered Adrian's calls. She went to work, a consulting firm in Midtown, the kind of place where everyone wore smart casual and used words like synergy without irony. Her office was on the 14th floor with a window that overlooked nothing interesting. Her boss stopped by at 10. "You look terrible." "Thanks, Jen." Jen sat on the edge of Simone's desk, arms crossed. "Want to talk about it?" "Not really." "Does it involve the fiancé?" Simone didn't answer. Jen nodded. "Men are idiots, present company included, obviously, but still. What did he do?" "Found out he might have kids." Jen's eyebrows went up. "Might? It's complicated. It always is." Jen stood. "Take the day if you need to. I'll cover your meetings." "I'm fine." "You're not. But I respect the denial." Jen headed for the door, then stopped. "For what it's worth?" If he's worth keeping, you'll know. If he's not, you'll know that too. Trust your gut. After she left, Simone tried to work. Opened spreadsheets, read emails, responded to exactly nothing. At noon, her phone buzzed. She'd turned it back on an hour ago, mostly out of habit. Not Adrian this time. A number she didn't recognize. She ignored it. It buzzed again. Same number. On the third buzz, she answered. Hello? Silence on the other end. Not dead air. Someone was there. She could hear breathing, faint and uneven. Hello? Simone said again. Is this Simone Reese? A woman's voice. Unfamiliar. Who's asking? My name is Rachel. Simone's hand tightened around the phone. How did you get this number? Adrian gave it to me. 4 years ago. I never deleted it. Simone stood up, moved to the window, put her back to the office so no one could see her face. What do you want? I saw you. In the car. With him. And? And I think you should know something. Simone's chest felt tight. I'm listening. Rachel's breath hitched. Not over the phone. Can you meet me? Why would I do that? Because he's lying to you. And I can prove it. Simone closed her eyes. When? They met at a coffee shop in Brooklyn, the kind with mismatched chairs and local art on the walls that no one ever bought. Rachel was already there when Simone arrived, sitting at a corner table with a cold cup in front of her. She looked different than she had at the crosswalk. Older up close, or maybe just more tired. Her hair was down now, falling past her shoulders. And she wore a jacket that had seen better years. Simone sat down across from her without ordering anything. Thank you for coming, Rachel said. I haven't decided if I'm staying. Rachel nodded. Fair enough. Up close, Simone could see the resemblance, not to Adrian exactly, but to the image of him she carried in her head. Something about the eyes, the set of the jaw. Or maybe she was imagining it. Maybe she just wanted to see a connection that wasn't there. The twins, Simone said. They're his. Rachel's hands tightened around her cup. Yes. How do you know? Because I haven't been with anyone else. Simone leaned back. That's not proof. I have a paternity test. From when? 6 months ago. Simone felt something cold settle in her stomach. He knew. He knew. For 6 months. Longer. I told him I was pregnant before we broke up. The coffee shop noise, the hiss of the espresso machine, the low hum of conversation faded into background static. Simone heard her own heartbeat instead. Too loud. Too fast. He said he didn't know. Rachel's expression didn't change. He's lying. Why? Because that's what he does. Simone wanted to stand up, walk out, pretend this conversation had never happened, but her legs wouldn't move. How did it end? She asked. Between you two. Rachel looked down at her cup. I told him I was pregnant. He asked if I was sure. I said yes. He asked if I wanted to keep it. I said yes. He said he'd support me whatever I decided, but he couldn't be a father. Not then. Not with where his career was. And he left. Moved out the next day. Changed his number. Had his lawyer send me papers saying he'd pay child support, but he didn't want custody or visitation rights. Did you sign them? No. Why not? Rachel's eyes finally met hers. Because I thought he'd change his mind. That when the babies came, he'd want to be there. That he'd see them and everything would be different. But it wasn't. No. He never came to the hospital. Never called. Never asked to see them. I sent him photos once. He didn't respond. Simone felt something crack inside her chest. When did that change? 3 months ago. He called. Said he wanted to meet them. That he'd made a mistake. That he was ready now. What did you say? I said no. Why? Rachel's voice went hard. Because you don't get to walk away for 2 years and then decide you're ready when it's convenient. Simone looked down at her hands. The ring was still there, still catching the light. She wanted to take it off. She wanted to throw it across the room. She wanted to rewind to 3 days ago when everything had been simple. Why are you telling me this? She asked. Because he's going to lie to you. He's going to say he didn't know, or he wasn't ready, or it was complicated. And you're going to believe him because that's what I did. I believed him when he said he loved me. I believed him when he said we'd figure it out. I believed him right up until the moment he walked out. Simone's throat felt tight. What do you want from me? Nothing. I just thought you should know who you're marrying. Rachel stood, picked up her cup, and walked to the trash. She threw it away, then turned back to Simone. For what it's worth, she said, I'm sorry. I know this isn't what you wanted to hear. Wait, Rachel stopped. The paternity test, Simone said. Can I see it? Rachel pulled out her phone, scrolled, then turned the screen towards Simone. It was a lab report, official letterhead, date stamped from 6 months ago, probability of paternity, 99.97%. Simone's hands were shaking. Does he know you have this? Yes. I emailed it to him when I had it done. Did he respond? No. Simone took a photo of the report with her own phone, then stood. Thank you. What are you going to do? I don't know yet. Rachel nodded. If you decide to leave him, I won't blame you. But if you stay, if you marry him, don't expect him to suddenly become someone he's not. People don't change. Not really. They just get better at hiding who they are. Simone left the coffee shop. Walked 3 blocks before she realized she was going the wrong direction, then stopped in the middle of the sidewalk while people moved around her like water around a stone. She called Adrian. He answered on the first ring. Simone, thank God. Are you okay? I met Rachel. Silence. Adrian? You what? She called me. I met her. She showed me the paternity test. More silence. Why did you lie? Simone asked. I didn't. You told me you didn't know about the kids, but you did. She told you she was pregnant and you left anyway, and then you paid for a paternity test 6 months ago and still didn't tell me. Adrian's breathing was loud through the phone. It's not that simple. Then explain it to me. Not over the phone. Let me come see you. Let me. No. Simone, please. You had 6 months to tell me. You had every day since we met to tell me, and you didn't, because I didn't know how. That's not good enough. I know. Simone looked down at her hand, at the ring. I need to think. About what? About whether I can marry someone who lies to me. I love you. That's not enough anymore. She hung up. Simone went back to her apartment and sat on the couch in the dark. Her phone rang 8 times, all Adrian. She didn't answer. At midnight, someone knocked on her door. She knew who it was before she looked through the peephole. Adrian stood in the hallway, still wearing his work clothes, his tie loose around his neck, his hair disheveled like he'd been running his hands through it. I'm not letting you in, Simone said through the door. I know. I just need you to listen. I'm done listening. 5 minutes. That's all I'm asking. Simone leaned her forehead against the door. You don't deserve 5 minutes. I know that too. She closed her eyes, then opened the door. She didn't invite him in. Just stood in the doorway, arms crossed, waiting. Adrian looked worse up close. His eyes were red, his jaw tight, his hands shoved deep in his pockets like he didn't trust them. I'm sorry, he said. For what, specifically? For lying. For not telling you. For being a coward. Why didn't you tell me? Because I was ashamed. Because I knew if you found out you'd leave, and I couldn't lose you. So you lied instead. Yes. Simone felt tears building behind her eyes but refused to let them fall. Did you ever love her? Adrian's throat worked. Yes. As much as you love me? No, it was different. How? With her. I was always trying to be someone I wasn't. With you, I don't have to try. That's a bullshit answer. It's the truth. Simone looked at him, really looked at him, and tried to find the person she'd said yes to. But all she saw was a man who'd walked away from his own children and then lied about it for 6 months. Do you want to be a father? She asked. Adrian flinched. I don't know. That's not good enough. It's honest. It's cowardly. Maybe. But it's the truth. I don't know if I'm ready. I don't know if I'll ever be ready. And I didn't want to trap you in a life you didn't sign up for. What life is that? One where I have 2 kids from a previous relationship who I've never met. One where I'm trying to figure out how to be a father to strangers while being a husband to you. One where nothing is simple anymore. Simone shook her head. You should have told me. I know. Before you proposed. Before I said yes. Before I fell in love with you. I know. So why didn't you? Adrian's composure finally cracked. His shoulders sagged. His voice broke. Because I'm selfish. Because I wanted you more than I wanted to do the right thing. Because I thought maybe if I just waited long enough, it would all go away. And now? Now I'm standing here begging you not to leave me. Simone felt the tears come then, hot and sudden. She wiped them away with the back of her hand. I don't know if I can do this. I understand. Do you? Because I don't think you do. I don't think you understand what you're asking me to give up. What am I asking you to give up? The future I thought we were going to have. The one where it was just us. Where we got married and traveled and built something together without all this. She gestured vaguely at the space between them. Baggage. I know. No, you don't. You get to decide if you want to be a father, but I don't get to decide anything. If I stay with you, those kids are part of my life whether I want them to be or not. And if I leave you, I'm the bad guy who couldn't handle it. Adrian opened his mouth, then closed it. For once, he had no answer. Simone stepped back into her apartment. I need time. How much time? I don't know. A week, maybe more. I'll let you know. Can I call you? No. Simone. Goodbye, Adrian. She closed the door before he could respond. A week passed. Simone didn't answer Adrian's calls or texts. She went to work, came home, ate food she didn't taste, and lay awake at night, staring at the ceiling. On day 8, her mother called. Have you talked to him? She asked. No. Are you going to? I don't know. Her mother sighed. You can't hide forever. I'm not hiding. I'm thinking. About what? About whether I can forgive him. Can you? Simone didn't answer. Honey, her mother said gently, I know this is hard, but you need to make a decision. One way or the other. Limbo isn't fair to anyone. I know. Do you love him? Yes. Does he love you? He says he does. Do you believe him? Simone closed her eyes. I don't know anymore. After they hung up, Simone sat on her couch and looked at the ring box on the coffee table. She'd taken the ring off 3 days ago, couldn't stand the weight of it anymore. Her phone buzzed. Not Adrian. Rachel. Can we talk? Simone stared at the message for a long time before responding. About what? He came to see the twins. Simone's heart stopped. When? Yesterday. Showed up at my apartment. Asked if he could meet them. Did you let him? Yes. Why? Because he's their father. And because I'm tired of being angry. Simone's hands were shaking. How did it go? He cried. Held them for an hour. Asked about their names, their birthdays, what they like. Then he left. Did he say anything about me? He said he loves you, that he doesn't deserve you, that he's trying to figure out how to be better. Simone put the phone down, picked it up again, typed, "Do you think people can change?" Rachel's response came fast. "I don't know, but I think they can try." On day 10, Simone called Adrian. "Can you meet me?" she asked. "When?" "Now." They met at the same park where they'd had their first date, a small green space near the river with benches that faced the water. Adrian was already there when she arrived, sitting on the same bench they'd shared 7 months ago. He stood when he saw her, didn't move toward her, just waited. Simone sat down. He sat next to her, leaving a careful distance between them. "I heard you went to see them," Simone said. Adrian nodded. "Rachel told you." "Yeah. Are you angry?" "I don't know what I am." They sat in silence for a while, watching the water move past. A jogger went by. A couple walked a dog, life continuing like nothing had changed. "Their names are Oliver and Emma," Adrian said quietly. "Oliver has my eyes. Emma has Rachel's smile. They're 2.5. They like dinosaurs and singing, and they hate broccoli." Simone felt something twist in her chest. "Do you want to be their father?" "I don't know, but I want to try." "What does that mean?" "It means I can't undo the last 2 years, but I can try to be there for the next 20. "And us?" Adrian turned to look at her. "That's up to you." Simone pulled the ring box from her pocket and set it on the bench between them. Adrian stared at it like it might explode. "I can't marry you," Simone said. Adrian's face crumpled. "Okay?" "Not yet," she clarified. "Not until you figure out who you're going to be. To them. To me. To yourself. How long?" "However long it takes." Adrian picked up the box, held it in both hands. "What if I can't figure it out? Then we'll both know. And if I do, then ask me again." Adrian's hands were shaking. "I don't deserve you." "Probably not. But that's not the point." "What is the point?" Simone stood. "The point is that I love you. But I won't marry someone who lies to me. And I won't build a life with someone who doesn't know what life they want to build." Adrian stood too. "What do I do now?" "You be a father. You figure out what that means. You show up. You don't run. And you. I'll be here. Or I won't. We'll see." Adrian took a step toward her, then stopped. "Can I kiss you?" Simone shook her head. "Not yet." "When?" "When you've earned it." She walked away, leaving him standing by the water with the ring box in his hands. 3 months later. Simone was at her desk when her phone buzzed. A photo from Adrian. Oliver and Emma on a playground, both mid-laugh. Adrian crouched between them with his arms around their shoulders. Caption: Week 12, they're starting to let me in. Simone smiled. She'd been getting these updates once a week. Photos, short captions, evidence of a life she wasn't part of but could see taking shape. She typed back, "They look happy." Adrian: "Getting there. So am I." Simone: "Good." Adrian: "Can I see you this week?" Simone hesitated. Then, "Saturday. Coffee." Adrian: "I'll be there." They met at a different coffee shop this time. Neutral ground, no history. Adrian looked different. Lighter, maybe. Or maybe just less haunted. "You look good," Simone said. "Thanks. So do you." They ordered coffee, sat at a table by the window. The conversation was careful at first, both of them testing boundaries that hadn't existed before. "How's work?" Adrian asked. "Busy. Yours?" "Same." "And the twins?" Adrian's face softened. "They're incredible. Exhausting. But incredible. Oliver started calling me Daddy last week. Emma still calls me Adrian, but I'm working on it." "How's Rachel?" "Guarded. But fair. We're figuring out co-parenting." It's not perfect, but it's better than it was. Simone stirred her coffee, watching the cream swirl and dissolve. Are you happy? Adrian thought about it. I think so. I'm scared most of the time. I have no idea what I'm doing. But yeah, I think I'm happy. Good. And you? I'm okay. Just okay? Simone met his eyes. I miss you. Adrian's throat worked. I miss you too. But I needed this, the space, the time to figure out if I could do this. And can you? I'm still figuring that out. Adrian nodded. Fair enough. They finished their coffee, walked outside together, stood on the sidewalk while people moved past them. Can I see you again next week? Adrian asked. Yeah. Same time? Sure. Adrian smiled, small but real. I'll keep sending photos. I'd like that. He reached for her hand, then caught himself. Pulled back. Simone caught his hand anyway, squeezed once, let go. One step at a time, she said. One step at a time, he echoed. She walked away, this time without looking back, but she was smiling. 6 months later, Simone stood in Rachel's living room watching Oliver and Emma build a tower out of blocks that was definitely going to fall. Higher, Oliver shouted. It's too high, Emma protested. No such thing. The tower collapsed. Both kids dissolved into giggles. Rachel appeared from the kitchen with juice boxes. You two are going to break something. We'll be careful, Oliver promised, already starting a new tower. Rachel handed Simone a glass of wine. Thanks for coming. Thanks for inviting me. It had been awkward at first. These shared afternoons where Simone overlapped with Adrian's other life. But slowly, carefully, they'd found a rhythm. Adrian arrived 20 minutes later, carrying takeout and apologies for being late. Traffic was insane, he said, kissing the tops of the twins' heads before setting the food on the counter. Simone watched him move through the space. Confident now, comfortable, like he'd been doing this forever instead of just months. He caught her eye, smiled. She smiled back. After dinner, they took the kids to the park. Adrian pushed Emma on the swing while Oliver climbed everything in sight, and Simone spotted him from below, arms ready to catch. You're getting good at that, Rachel said, appearing beside her. At what? At being here. At making this work. Simone looked at Oliver, who'd reached the top of the climbing structure and was waving like he'd summited Everest. I'm trying. So is he. I know. Rachel was quiet for a moment. For what it's worth, I think he's different now. With you. With them. With himself. Do you think people can really change? I think the right people can inspire us to be better than we were. Simone watched Adrian lift Emma off the swing, spinning her in a circle while she shrieked with delight. I hope you're right. 1 year later, Adrian took Simone back to the park by the river. Same bench, same view, different everything. I know what you're going to say, Simone said before he could speak. Do you? You're going to ask me again. Adrian pulled the ring box from his pocket. Same box. Same ring. Is that okay? Simone looked at the box, then at him. That depends. On what? On whether you've figured it out. Figured what out? Who you are, who you want to be. Adrian opened the box. The diamond caught the afternoon light, throwing rainbows across his palm. I'm a father. I'm a partner. I'm someone who makes mistakes but tries to fix them. And I'm someone who wants to spend the rest of his life making you happy. In that order? In every order. Simone took the ring from the box, held it up to the light. This belonged to your mother. Yeah. She'd want you to be a good father. I know. And a good husband. I'm working on it. Simone slipped the ring onto her finger. It fit perfectly, like it had the first time. Then ask me. Adrian got down on one knee, right there on the bench, looking up at her with eyes that were clear and sure. Simone Reese, will you marry me? Yes. He stood, kissed her, held her like she might disappear if he let go. When they pulled apart, Simone kept her hand on his chest, feeling his heartbeat under her palm. I need you to promise me something, she said. Anything. No more lies, no more hiding. If something's wrong, you tell me. If you're scared, you tell me. If you don't know what you're doing, you tell me. I promise. And the kids are part of our life. Always. No negotiation. Simone nodded. Okay then. Okay? Okay. Adrian kissed her again, softer this time, like he had all the time in the world. The wedding was small, immediate family only. Simone's parents, Adrian's mother, Rachel, and the twins. Oliver and Emma served as ring bearers, which mostly involved Oliver running down the aisle and Emma refusing to let go of the pillow. Rachel stood in the back, her arms crossed, her expression unreadable until the moment Adrian said, I do. And she smiled. Small, but real. At the reception, Simone found her by the dessert table. Thank you, Simone said. For what? For letting him be part of their lives, for giving him a second chance, for not making this harder than it had to be. Rachel picked up a piece of cake, studied it like it held answers. He's their father. They deserve to know him. And honestly, he's better now. With you. So I guess I should be thanking you. For what? For making him into someone worthy of them. Simone looked across the room where Adrian was crouched down, showing Oliver and Emma how to tie balloon animals and failing spectacularly while both kids laughed. I didn't make him anything, Simone said. He did that himself. Maybe, but you gave him a reason to. The DJ started playing a slow song. Adrian stood, caught Simone's eye, and gestured toward the dance floor. Simone excused herself and met him in the center of the room. I can't dance, Adrian said. I know. The kids are going to laugh at me. Probably. He pulled her close anyway, and they swayed more than danced, his hand warm on her back, her head resting against his shoulder. Are you happy? He asked. Simone looked around the room, at her parents laughing with Adrian's mother, at Oliver and Emma making balloon swords and hitting each other with them, at Rachel stealing extra cake when she thought no one was watching. Yeah, she said. I think I am. Good. Because I'm terrified. Of what? Of messing this up. Of not being enough. Of letting you down. Simone pulled back to look at him. You're going to mess up. You're going to let me down sometimes. That's just life. Encouraging. But you'll also show up. You'll try. You'll be there, and that's enough. Adrian kissed the top of her head. I hope you're right. I usually am. They kept dancing, even after the song ended, until Oliver crashed into Adrian's legs and demanded to be picked up. Adrian lifted him, then Emma, one on each hip, and tried to keep dancing while both kids wiggled and laughed. Simone stepped back, pulled out her phone, took a photo. For the memories, she said. Adrian grinned at her over the kids' heads. For the memories. 5 years later. Simone sat in the bleachers at Oliver's soccer game, Emma next to her with a juice box and a coloring book, Adrian down on the field coaching the team, despite having no athletic ability whatsoever. Dad's bad at this, Emma observed. Very bad, Simone agreed. But the kids like him. They do. On the field, Oliver missed the ball completely, tripped over his own feet, and landed face first in the grass. Adrian jogged over, helped him up, said something that made Oliver laugh. Emma looked up from her coloring. Mom? Simone had started responding to Mom 6 months ago, after Emma had asked if she could call her that. Adrian had cried. Simone had said yes. Yeah, sweetie? Are you glad you married Dad? Simone watched Adrian chase after the ball, completely out of breath, his team of 7-year-olds running circles around him. Yeah, she said, I am. Even though he's bad at soccer? Even though he's bad at soccer. Emma nodded, satisfied, and went back to her coloring. Oliver's team lost 6-2. Adrian bought everyone ice cream anyway. On the drive home, both kids fell asleep in the back seat, their faces sticky with chocolate. Adrian reached over and took Simone's hand. Thank you. For what? For giving me a second chance. For not giving up on me. For being here. Simone squeezed his hand. You earned it. Did I? You're still earning it. Every day. Adrian smiled. Fair enough. They drove in comfortable silence, the kind that comes from years of knowing someone, of building a life together from broken pieces and second chances. When they got home, Adrian carried Oliver inside while Simone got Emma. They put both kids to bed, kissed their foreheads, turned off the lights. In their own room, Simone found the photo from their wedding day. Adrian with Oliver and Emma, all three of them laughing at something no one else could see. Do you ever wonder? Adrian asked, coming up behind her. Wonder what? What would have happened if you'd walked away? If you'd said no that second time? Simone looked at the photo, at the family they'd built from wreckage and truth. Sometimes. But not in a way that matters. What way is that? The way that makes me wish things were different. Adrian wrapped his arms around her, rested his chin on her shoulder. I love you. I know. No, I mean, I love you. More than I did 5 years ago. More than I did yesterday. More than I'll probably have words for tomorrow. Simone turned in his arms. That's a lot of love. Not enough. Never enough. She kissed him. Soft and sure. The kind of kiss that came from choosing someone every day for years and knowing you'd choose them again tomorrow. It's enough, she said against his mouth. It's always been enough. The photograph stayed on Simone's nightstand for the rest of their lives, a reminder that sometimes the hardest choice is to stay, to fight, to believe someone can become who they need to be. And sometimes, just sometimes, they do. If you'd been standing on that sidewalk when Adrian's car stopped at the crosswalk, if you'd seen him go still and his fiancée's face change, would you have told her to run or to wait and see who he'd become? Drop your answer below, and if you stayed until the end of this story, hit that like button. Subscribe if you believe in second chances. Or if you don't. Either way, let me know what you would have done.